Redefining broadcasting. Listen. You're listening to Elegbete TV and Radio. All right, guys, good morning and welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Sports Buffet on Elegbete TV Radio. My name is Idafi Matthew Sogane. You have to come with Elegbete on the Sports. It's time for me to get my also on. And if you're out there, thank you very much for already being there. It's not easy to have a show and have people always there for you. So for that, you guys are the real MVP. I am very, very grateful. We're still talking the Euros, transfer, preparation for the new season, the clockwork of European football that makes it very beautiful. Every day when you look at that, you just wish that in Nigeria we could have such a clockwork. Today will be the draws, the Congress or the AGM, the Congress of the NFF, and from there we would have the Congress. There is rumors that the Ministry of Sports is pushing for Steve McLaren. I don't know why that is, but imagine Steve McLaren. I mean, when was the last time he had a job? And why would Nigeria want to have an English coach? English coaches never do well. What's the business of Nigeria Super Eagles with an English manager? Come on, let's be very honest. What does it bring? When you hear this kind of story, sometimes you just wonder, where is it coming from? I like to take some of these things with a pinch of salt and pretend like, you know what? It's not really something that I'm sure of. It's not something that I'm sure of. He's 63 years of age right now, and that's the guy. Is that the guy that Nigeria needs? Somehow you just wonder, is that the guy that we need now? Like, is that the guy that Nigeria needs as his manager right now? What's the last time he was on a job? That's another thing you have to look at. When's the last time he had any job? Queen's Park Rangers in 2019. This is 5 years ago, and that's the guy we want to employ. This guy is retired, man. Come on, this guy is retired. The best memory I have of Steve McLaren was when he was under the reign for the England job, and I don't think he did very well, with that national team. To not put him, at the end of affair for Nigeria. So kind of like, I don't know if you guys think he's the guy that should be on the job, or hey, that's the story we're hearing. It's Harry Kane, football's most unlucky human being. 2 Carabao Cup finals lost, 1 Champions League finals lost, 2 Euros finals lost. Went to Bayern. Yes, my Bayern. This Bayern. Went to Bayern. They've been winning for 11 straight years. Lost the DFB Pokal. Lost the league title. Just for losing everything. Can we look at Harry Kane and say there is a Harry Kane curse? Should Vincent Company be looking at himself and be saying, this might be my biggest problem. This might be my biggest challenge. Because you want to sit where you are and say, oh no, there's no big deal, there's no cost. But 15 or so years that he's been playing football actively, he's had chances upon chances to win major trophies, and he's lost all of them. So could we say that there is the Harry Kane curse? And Manchester United lost to Rosenborg 1-0, but it's a preseason game, so no big deal. Nobody should be read any meaning into it. But these are the pattern. Inside the pattern. When Man United show you that, we are still going to be that Manchester United of last season. We lost 14 games last season. The world did not end. We ended up winning the FA Cup, and the FA Cup became very, very important. FA Cup is useless when Arsenal wins it, but when Man United wins it, it becomes a major trophy. Everybody start looking at it like, yes, this is a great trophy. If you win the FA Cup, it's an old traditional cup, the first
cup competition ever, blah blah blah, the oldest cup competition ever. But when Arsenal wins a common FA Cup, they will not let somebody hear what. But like when Chelsea win the Carabao Cup, it becomes bigger than the World Cup. They start telling you how much the winner of the Carabao Cup gets over the winner of the World Cup or Europa or Conference League. You understand that kind of thing? Well, it is what it is. But a lot of teams have started their pre-season already. Wolves are set to launch a formal complaint over alleged racist abuse aimed at Huang Hinchan during pre-season friendly with winger Daniel Podence sent off for punching Como player in the aftermath. Okay. Whatever it is, a friendly match is not supposed to bring that kind of energy, because first of all, the way I say friendly match is this club and this club have agreed, or either the sponsors have agreed, and they are playing to tune themselves up. It's not competitive enough. There is nothing that is high in that conversation that should get to the point where there is now real bad blood. But hey, football is football. Some people are not properly raised. That's why I say some people are not properly raised. The parents didn't teach them well, they didn't grow up well, they are destroyed, and they go about trying to destroy other people. They're like skunk. Every time they open up, they fat up, it's very, very smelly and stinky. That's how they are. Well, Wolves are vowed to launch a formal complaint to UEFA after Huang Hinchan was subject to alleged racist abuse during a pre-season friendly with Como on Monday evening. The incident saw the South Korean star allegedly targeted by one of the Como players, forcing several Wolves players to intervene in defense of their teammate. Wolves winger Daniel Podence was then shown a straight red card for punching an opponent. Well, how does it get that bad that you have to punch an opponent anyway? I mean, I think you just go there, get in the melee and separate each other, but then sometimes not everybody can take it. No. Well, the biggest talk in England today is, while in Nigeria it is who's our next coach, who will be the next manager of the Super Eagles, I do understand that we will have an NFF president who doesn't have a clue on how to get money. Remember back then when Amaju was there, he's frolicking, he's jumping around. Well, we have a guy who doesn't jump around, he doesn't frolic. Unfortunately, he cannot manufacture money out of nowhere. And he's run out of, well, he never had ideas anyway. He never had ideas. His actions will always tell you that he never had ideas, And now we are where we are because the truth that nobody is saying is this. Ibrahim Gusu does not know how to employ a manager that he does not know how to pay. That's why when I keep telling people, they say the NFL does not have money. People like the NFL have money, FIFA money, this money, that money. No. You have to do a little bit of accounting. And I keep saying, those people will not know. I will try my best to educate you now. I'll keep educating you people. The expense of the NFF is higher than their income. And it's not that kind of thing that they can cut short. Okay? They cut it short, it means the Super Falcons or the Super Eagles or the under 17 or the under 20s, some of them will not be participating in their competition. That's what it means. And because of that, it's crazy. It's like the other day I told somebody that when we went to Rio for the Super Eagles camp, it cost me 2,783,000 naira. And you guys like, for what now? I said, but that's what it cost me. That's the budget. Because what I do is I receipt everything that I spend on any journey, whether I buy bottled water, whether I buy everything, I receipt all of them and then I tabulate them at the end of the day. And that's just me and 2 crew members, okay, with some other people, local hands that we hired to do some work, like the French guy, a few people like that. And that's just me. So you look at the NFF, who have a very massive team, the Super Eagles, the backroom staff, everybody gets, flights, movement, logistics, allowances, camp allowances, all of those things. They stay in Rio, then from Rio they go to, Benin Republic, all of that. It's a huge expense. And then the Super Falcons are in camp now, preparation for the Olympics. Yeah, so the NFF will first of all do that preparation and then hand them over to the ministry. That's the process. Yeah, and you have other teams, the junior female team, and all of those teams are there camping. And then you'll talk about running the secretariat as well. But people don't understand all of that. All the money again. What would have brought money? What would have brought money is to pop up the brand in such a way that it is commercially viable. But again, even at that, the economy is not good enough. Then also sell your assets enough to earn some extra cash. Like when I say sell your assets enough, overflow your assets. So you have the players. When the players come to camp, put up enough content around them and sell it on your YouTube channel. But unfortunately, the YouTube channel is never owned by the NFF. So that's another long conversation where you see the Nigerian football is not really designed to create its own money. It's always going to be dependent on government. But unfortunately, right now, I said this before, people didn't get it. Since the exit of Goodluck Jonathan, the Nigerian government does not fund football directly anymore. It puts money as a budget, and then the ministry have to share the money amongst all the sports. And unfortunately, football cannot just take all the lion's share this time around. That's the situation where we find ourselves. So we're looking for a coach. They say the budget is 2 million. What they're really looking for is they're throwing those words out and hoping that the minister will get, like, when you say, I don't know, when you send somebody to do something for you and you're sitting there watching the person fumble with it, play, like not really getting it done, and then you now get angry and say, hey, get up, leave it, let me do it myself, right? That's what the NFF is playing at. That's their play. Their game plan is we would mess around to the point where, the ministry will not say, okay, let us take over. But not like in an interference way, but let's take over by giving you, the coach that would think it's good enough. That's exactly what the NFF is playing. And then if you look at Gusso, what Gusso have established in his pattern is Gusso have created a system where he is never responsible for anything, right? Remember when he employed, when the time to fire, Peseiro, he didn't really fire Peseiro. What happened was the fact that it got to the point where Peseiro was demanding for what they cannot pay, and he pushed it to the ministry. And once the ministry came out with that comment that we are not going to be responsible for the salaries of your coaches, he took that, lifted it, and used that to cover the faces of Nigerians. And also Peseiro like, our paymaster, our papa say no get money, so you go. And then they were looking for coach again, and then they now came up with the federal character, procurement principles of the federal government. We have to advertise the job. They advertise the job, knowing for eternity that it's going to be Finidi George, because he's the only one who can take that kind of small money, right? And then everybody applied. There was a race of people applying, and I kept saying, this one it's not going to work now. This is foolishness. At the end of the day, we got Finidi, who had the shortest official reign of coaching the team. We've had Tis Libret is officially the shortest manager that was employed by the NFF. But, Finidi George, 2 games, official games, 2 friendly games that's not counted, but 2 official games after I was employed, and he resigned. So you look at the Nigerian situation now. What Gusso is waiting for, our next game is in September. Why employ a coach now? That is his own foolish thinking. Why employ a coach now? Because if you employ a coach now, what's the use? You're not paying for this month, you're not paying for next month. But then you forget that there's need to be preparation, there's need for the coach to even go out there and even talk to some of these players and get his own ideas across to them. Not that the players will just come to camp and see a stranger as their man. Jesus Christ. The thought of it alone is busting my brain. Just like you're in school now, you have a teacher who's teaching you. You're already beginning to understand the teacher, the way the teacher teaches, the pronunciation, enunciation, the cadence of their teaching. And then the next morning you go to school, it's a new teacher. That's what the Super Eagles are dealing with. 1 minute it is Joseph Peseiro, the next minute is Finidi George. Just when you're thinking, okay, we can get past this Finidi George mistakes and then fix it, boom, there's another one. This one is going to be hard not to blame the players. First off, we have Super Eagles players that are not really serious. You now create a situation, an atmosphere for them not to even be serious at all, not to even take anything serious. You go, why do we even want to go to the World Cup? It's like England competing for a tournament and saying they would win. It's not going to happen. Definitely not going to happen. Okay, but hey, there's a whole lot of conversations to have. There's a talk that Jude Bellingham lost it against Gary Southgate. Some people say that Gary Southgate have done all he knew best to do, and he's tried. He's gotten England to 2 finals, gotten England to the World Cup semi-finals and the World Cup quarterfinals. In the 8 years that he's been there, he's done his bit and he's done it well. But some England people are saying he's not closer to success. than he is closer to failure. So this is the end of the road. But some talks, is like, okay, we think that from where we're coming from before him, we are closer to the promised land now than we are, than we are to going back to where we used to be. So we're going to Judea, whether we like it or not, instead of going back to Egypt. Wow. So where do we stand on this? I just want your opinion. Should Gareth Southgate be released? Again, Gareth Southgate came with a comment before this tournament that win or lose is going to leave the job. So people are not asking him, be responsible and live up to your words, but it's not been able to live up to that. All the Owambe party that was planned for England, all the buses that was decorated, all that should be that is sold, sold to people, the ones that my Yoruba brothers and sisters in Peckhams, all of them gathered to try to, feel among, claim England, the Awaniye, all the Bukayo Saka have won us the Euros. It's coming on finally. It's Bukayo Saka that brought it. Only Watkins, the Jamaican. All these black people who wanted to claim success. Jude Bellingham. The name now will not, English name will not be sounding like Yoruba name. All of that led to, from Bank Holiday Monday yesterday to Bank Holiday their morning. It's one of those things that happen in football where what you order versus what you get. But hey, it is what it is. Some people say going forward, if they leave Southgate, they should drop Hurricane that is reached the end of the line. Let's accept that is the juice one, is the missing link here. But then Spain, when you look at the Spanish team, there are some things about the Spanish team that is just interesting. People say if you go to Saudi Arabia, you should not be coming back to play for the national team, except you're Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, there is a Spanish defender that plays in the Saudi Arabian League. Yeah, because Anderson was told he cannot play for the English national team again because he was in Saudi Arabia. He went to Ajax, couldn't even play football. They have a striker in Alvaro Morata who doesn't score goals, right? They have Marco Corella, who had a very terrible season last season. So when you look at the Spanish team, apart from, the fact that they have better version of Chukwueze in Nico Williams and a better version of Moses Simon in what's his name? Yamal. You look at the way they coordinate themselves. Even in the finals, when Rodri got injured and was removed at halftime, you would have thought that the metronome, the guy who controls the team, is out. England now have a chance to press. England practically defended in almost all the game. In pocket of moments in different games, they were good. England also waited till they considered the goal before they found their energy and their verve to push forward, which is not it's not the hallmark of a good team anyway. Because you should start a game by imposing yourself, your play and all that. I'm getting some messages now. I'm going to check it as we go. Imposing your play and determining how the game will go, but that's not happened. So let's look at let's leave all of that and let's look at some of the transfer rumors or gist or conversation that are going on. Names on the table that people are mentioning. Arena quickly excused himself. He said he's focused on playing golf now. Eddie Howe is being mentioned there. McKenna is being mentioned there. John Terry, some people mentioned John Terry, some others mentioned Frank Lampard. England and I not really get coach. But let's see how it goes. Newcastle United manager Eddie Howe would be one of the leading candidates to become England manager if current boss Gareth Southgate steps down. Former England midfielder Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard are also possible contenders. Manchester United have asked about German defender Jonathan Tah, with Bayern Munich having failed to reach an agreement with Bayer Leverkusen to sign a 28-year-old player. Okay, Galatasaray are in talks with Manchester United and Scotland midfielder Scott McTominay to see if the 27-year-old can move the final agreement to make that day happen. Arsenal have rejected an offer for 23-year-old England midfielder Emily Smith Rowe from Fulham, who are weighing up whether to make an improved bid. If they like, they make. If they like, they don't make. Somebody sent me a message. I'm going to read it about Smith Rowe, so I'm going to try my best to answer that question. Liverpool and Atletico de Madrid are interested in RB Leipzig 24-year-old French defender Mohamed Simakan. Spain striker Alvaro Morata, 31, is set to join AC Milan on a 4-year deal from Atletico de Madrid. Manchester City are in advanced talks to sign 26-year-old Spain midfielder Dani Olmo from RB Leipzig, and Bayern Munich are also interested in Olmo, who scored 3 goals during the Euro 2024 as he helped his country win the tournament, according to Fabrizio Romano. Well, in Spain, Spain international Mikel Merino is one of the options Barcelona are considering for their midfield, with the 28-year-old having 1 year left on his Real Sociedad contract. Arsenal are also planning to make a move for Merino, who had a spell at Newcastle United before returning to Spain. Newcastle United are set to rival Everton in trying to sign 20-year-old Italy winger Wilfred Noto from Leeds United. Gabonese forward Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, 35, is close to joining Saudi Arabia club Al Qadasiyah for that one. Southampton have agreed a deal worth up to the tune of £18 million to sign English midfielder Flynn Downs, 25, from West Ham. That's the stories making the rounds in the transfer space. Okay, we also have some of the other stories, that are hitting the grounds like this. Chelsea midfielder that is available on loan. We talked about that yesterday, and quite a few other ones as well. We'll try my best to see how we can push them one conversation one after the other. But then there is a few other talk, okay, that's going on beautifully here. We can practically, nothing major that needs to disturb the show. So today I thought, okay, we should commit it to. There's a whole lot of messages. Let me read from the web WhatsApp. Okay, so it's clear, it's better. Okay, so let me see. That's this anymore. All right, this one is coming from Mustafa. Okay, Mustafa says, hi Daffy, I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm listening to you from Czech Republic. I want your opinion on Emile Smith. Why is Arsenal trying to sell him? He's a young player. We know what he can bring. He had an injury, he had a surgery. He should be back to his best to give support to whatever Martin Odegaard have to offer. I think, in my opinion, that if Odegaard gets injured, Arsenal does not have a proper replacement. The team lack squad depth in that department. Letting Smith Rowe go might be regretful in the form of Serge Gnabry and a few other players that have left Arsenal in the past. What do you think? What's your honest opinion? Should he stay or go? No stuff. Well, my honest opinion, you asked for it, I'm going to give you this. So there is what we call team evolution in football, where your team all of a sudden go from this way to that way. Is either going south or is going north. Is either ways, right? Up north or going south. And before Mikel Arteta came in, this team was going south. It was going from bad to worse and from worse to disaster, right? When Wenger left, it was already bad. When Wenger was there, it was already bad. When Emery came in, couldn't stop the bleeding, it was going worse. And then when Arteta came in his first 2 seasons, the only thing he did was to put a bandage on the wound, but the bandage on the wound didn't stop the wound. The wound was rotting on the inside, and we won the FA Cup. That was the band-aid. But then eventually we found out that there was a bullet lodged in the temple of the body. So you need to go into ICU and do a surgery. And then the surgery, it started. The first aid treatment was to get Ozil out, right? But then you find out that there's a bullet lodged in, and that bullet was called Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Even though he helped you to to win the FA Cup, but he was a dangerous player in the team that needed to go. They let him go, and then Torreira, and then Guendouzi, and then a few other players, Lacazette, and the rest of them. Then Nicolas Sanogo Pepe, that Arsenal is still paying for his transfer fee, 10 million every season until the deal is the whole money is finished. It was planned for 7 years. I'm not sure they've completed our payments. But then two things happened apart from the FA Cup. One of the greatest things that happened for Arsenal was the Amazon Prime Video. I mean, I think that without that video, Arteta would have been fired. That changed the whole trajectory. That gave people, the Arsenal fans, the inside workings of the club, and made Arsenal fans now see, oh, this is how deep the rot is. Because sometimes we always, as football fans, everybody overrates their team. It's like your mother. Every child thinks that their father and their mother are the most brilliant people, the smartest people, most powerful people. That's why, I will tell my mommy or I'll tell my daddy for you, right? Until one day they realize it and then it becomes somebody outside, right? So for Arsenal, that was the situation. But Arteta, after the twice finishing in 8th position, and the other one finishing in 5th position, not being able to, and almost creating a last 10 game course in the 2 seasons before last season. The last 10 games was disastrous. And then last season, one of the things that Arteta have also done with his time at the club is he's shown that he can make players get better. Okay, so Ben White became better. Aaron Ramsey, who was a double relegation candidate, also got better. Look at David Raya right now. Who would have thought that David Raya would be goalkeeper of the season, win the Golden Glove? Come on, let's be very honest. No matter how you look at him, he's just there. Gabriel Magalhaes does not really have a top-class football coming from where it's coming from. But look at him and Saliba, who's a young player who went to play in Lille or so in France, coming to boss the entire English Premier League defense, putting a lot of big players in his pocket, the two of them combined. And, the weak area in the Arsenal defense is obviously the left side, where you've had Tomiyasu, sometimes Kivior, and then Zinchenko, who's, lost it, right? But what he's done with that team is he's been able to keep them strong. One of Arsenal's weakest link is the soft underbelly, the weakness of their defense, their weakness to crosses. Arsenal went an entire season conceding the least number of goals. That's, incredible. If Arsenal score goals, it's not a new thing. It's a tradition that Arsenal always score goals post Graham eras, right? So Arsenal always score going forward. Arsenal is fantastic. So, but to defend, even under Wenger, was really a problem. But then it brought that solidity. In that midfield game, there was, an upgrade on certain players. The ones that left, when Granit Xhaka left, his last season, it was fantastic. And then when he left, we brought in Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard. And then there was the journeyman of Jorginho and Thomas Partey, who came in later in the season. Yes, I kind of agree that in his best season, 2 or 3 seasons ago, where he scored about 15 or so goals, it was good. But I think after the groin surgery, the operation, and I thought he was supposed to get better, because now finding out that he was playing that wonderful performance with a groin injury was just taking painkillers was incredible. And I felt like when he did that surgery, if he comes back, it was going to be good. But you see, he's lost his confidence. Will he have the chance to build his confidence? Maybe. But the problem with that is when I told a friend here last night, very late last night, we were talking about this Emilio Smith thing and all that. And I told him, I said, Arsene Wenger would keep Smith Rowe and try to give him more chance, more opportunity till he gets better, right? But Arteta is not in that space. Arteta is not coaching in that Wenger space where Wenger was so powerful, nobody can even question him, nobody can tell him to raise the ambition of the club. Arteta is in a place where he wants to win the title by all means. He wants to go on record as somebody who competes with Pep Guardiola and also won the title against Pep Guardiola. There are only 2 or 3 managers in world football that have competed against Pep Guardiola and won a title. He wants to put his name on that roster. So the team is upwardly mobile. Now, the gap between Emilio Smith, what his best is, and what the team is very, very far right now. And even what Arsenal have, they need upgrade over them. One of the reasons why a lot of people don't complain anymore for whatever player that Arteta brings in, there is a feeling that he can improve them. But then there are some players that cannot be improved. That's what we're having with Smith Rowe now. His confidence is low. Coaches can improve you when you're confident and you're ready to do the job. I don't think his confidence is high. And again, if Arsenal wants to sign in new players, it's okay to move somebody. So players like Emilio Smith, Eddie Nketiah, and what's the guy called? Rhys Nelson, or whatever his name is, should be kicked out of the team so that they can get the space. And then again, whatever they sell them on is pure profit. There is no advertising, nothing. This pure profit because they're academy product, which is also good. You want to have your academy producing players. Imagine Arsenal Academy was producing players in the quality of Lamine Yamal and the rest of them, or like Messi or Xavi or Busquets and the rest of them. But hey, Arsenal is not Barcelona, so let's not even have that conversation. So I think, in my opinion, Musti, is that he should be let go because he's occupying space and it doesn't look like he can raise his game to the point where, I'm not God, but it doesn't look like he can raise his game to the point where he's not competing. So to not have him on the bench, you have Marquinhos on the bench, you have too many players on the bench, and it doesn't look like a player wants to go on loan, is just burdening the team for no reason. So I think it should go. I hope I've answered your question on that one. Those of you out there, if you have any way to answer the question, you should do. This one came from Reginald, and it's a bit long. Hi, Idafe, it's Reginald again. I have a few confessions to make. At the beginning, when I started writing, I really did not like you as a person, and I must say it. I also did not think that your channel would stand the test of time. That I didn't think you would have the energy and the umph. Maybe grammar. Calm down, Reginald. To be this consistent. So for that, I take my word back and I give you your flowers where you deserve it. But there are some people on your community that I must appreciate. The guy called Bobby Ray, I like him because even though he's almost never part of the live show, but he's always turning up, and how you know that he's watched the video from start to finish is the amount of comments he puts on. The guy with your logo on his avatar. Okay, avatar. When you wrote it, come put sign language. I don't understand. On his avatar, Diolariwaju, or what's his name? Also nice one. And then I've also studied your channel and your community as against many other communities. I must say that you have done a good job with your community. Is the community with the least or probably zero insult or banter. Maybe a few ones here and there comes in to try to banter. I like the way you have a lead on it. It's one of the things I used to hate about you when you were on radio, but I now realize that it's the best because now looking at other channels and their community and the way people insult each other, I think that you have really put a firm grip on your community and you've also made them love each other very well. So thank you very much. Now I've got this question for you. There's so many things you say. Obviously you're a Pan-Africanist that sometimes I wonder how a Nigerian think like that. You said you would not jackpot, in your opinion. Would you like your children to go to school abroad? Obviously, the answer is yes. I think I've answered this question. Somebody's asked me this question before. The answer is yes. But go schooling abroad is going to get a good education, and that one should not be restricted. That's not Japan. That's like getting quality because, again, you need the best education to be able to fix whatever problem you think you can fix. I would let my children to go school abroad. Again, another question is the talk about the DNA, man. Regina, where are you heading to? The talk about the DNA conversation all over Nigeria, you seem not to be one who is really interested in it. Every time you talk about it, you said you're not interested. What if you have a DNA and you find out that one of your child is not yours? What would you do? Let me be very honest. I've dealt with all these permutations. My mom used to say that when you go searching for what is not missing, you will find something that is missing eventually. All right? And it might not be pleasant. I like to be very happy. I grew up very, very, I have a very sad, painful childhood. And I made a decision. The happiness is actually in your hand. It's not in anybody's hand. I made a decision at one point in my life, from 1991 or so, to be happy the rest of my life. And I've tried to be very, very happy. And I've also come to realize that money doesn't make you happy, but money does enhance it. So all those people say, you don't need money to be happy. No, money enhances the happiness. So you can run, money can give you wings to fly with the happiness. So it depends on what direction. The same way money can make you destroy things, money can create bomb, money can also create happiness, can really accentuate and enhance the happiness. Having said that, my children will school abroad. Yeah, this DNA thing, I've also, because when you follow gossipers, bloggers and the rest, you just think that the DNA problem is just a surface problem that amounts to cheating. I was on a panel one time when we were talking, and I was the only non-medical person on the panel, and we were talking about, it was a family, it was a school that invited us to come speak, and I was there. And my angle was just the media angle, but then the topic veered into this whole DNA thing, and doctors were talking, people were talking, nurses, everybody we know they were talking, and it seems to be like everybody was blaming the women, until I raised a question. I said, is there a possibility that, so when my wife was pregnant, the first child, I was working in Builder, I was fucking broke, right? And the hospital had two options: the private ward, where you have a ward to yourself and you get treated with this, you have a gynecologist to yourself and everything, was about 110,000 naira. That was 2012, right? To deliver. But the regular ward was 30,000 naira. The regular ward, where you have multiple people delivering at the same time. And I said, like, is there a possibility that children that are born in that kind of mixed zone can be swapped by mistake accidentally? And they said it's in rare cases, but it's possible. So human error is possible. I mean, you did the whole rush can come at the same time, more delivery than the nurses can handle. Something can just give way. Okay, I said, because the distance between going to clean up the babies and bringing them back to their mother, and because it's a general ward, you're now moving them to their bed and all that, things can be switched. All newborn babies, all newborn babies look alike, right? So that switch can happen. And let's be very honest, if you just put to bed any baby they give to you resemble you, it's over time that you start seeing some differences, some changes, but every babies look alike. That's the way I say it. I said, so that's possible, right? And so if in the future that kind of couple now go and do a DNA now, the woman is the cheater, right? And then the conversation just changed. Everybody now, because now we're bringing, it's easy to talk from a position of emotion, but then when you start bringing facts and science to the conversation, everybody now know that whatever you say here, you'll be held account to it. And that's how I like to have my conversation with people. But then recently, somebody went to do a DNA test and find out that he's not the father of his child. And then the woman, knowing fully well that she was faithful, this one wasn't going to lie low. I mean, the husband have kicked out of the house, everything. The woman took the husband, first of all, sued the husband to court first. You understand? Because that's the only way sanity can prevail. So the husband to court, the mother-in-law, the father-in-law, brought everybody to court, and then demanded that she's not demanding for the marriage. That the marriage is not important. What she's demanding for is to clear her name. That they should nominate a place. She would raise the money, pay, nominate a place where they would do a DNA, because anything from the position that everybody's standing, anything she does, any result she brings, she's a liar. She should nominate a place where they went and go and do a DNA. The child, not the woman. Okay. Tracing. This is in the US. So tracing. Their biological child was in the foster home. 5 years old. They've been training a 5-year-old boy, 5-year-old child, without it being their child, and then eventually they find their child in a foster home. So I brought that conversation up in the meet, and I said, listen, in this case now, remember that this is the US, where you can even trace children. There are so many situations where you cannot trace it. That child is lost in the system forever. Like if it had happened in Nigeria, no matter what this woman would say, the woman will not be even bold enough to sue, because the shock would hit her. First, you know that if you do something and they're accusing you, you have a way of defending yourself. Because you did something wrong. Your mind, your internal being is prepared for the defense. When you did not do anything, the shock can just lock you out. You're confused. You start acting very, very strange, right? So I put all that on the table. This thing that I am saying now, nobody should crop it and use it and say this is enough. What I am saying is that there is the window that some of these things happen on a regular basis. I grew up watching a movie called Switch and Bet. I grew up watching a movie called Parents Trap. I've seen enough in my lifetime. And in the time I was in Canada, I used to work with a group called Doctors Without Border, but their data and statistics unit, where we take record of people who have drug issues, people who have many sickness issues. My job is just to write down when they come for their therapy section, their meeting sections. I just to record this person came in, how many hours they spent, And in the process of doing a lot of tests and all that, people will find out that they're not children of the both parents that raised them like that. I know that. I have all those information. So it powers the way I think about people. That's why, first off, I don't sabi judge people. I'm not judgmental, because Life is more than what you see or read or you hear on social media. And if you're going to bank on social media to be your source of information, my brother, you never start being. You're never really ready. Because now that's why I say to my crew, we don't do breaking news in this media. We don't. We wait. We'll go analyze it later. No, leave those who are doing breaking news to run with the news. I can wait 10 years to get the fact around the story and speak for myself so that tomorrow I don't speak against it. So that's my position on it. And to be very honest, all of this drama around this whole DNA test is just... It's like what I said during COVID. I said one day we'll wake up and COVID will be like malaria. Nobody will be talking about it again. They thought I was joking. See where we are now. Now, it's not a good thing that you raise a child and you find out that you're not the father. But if not expedient situations like medical situation, I'm not sure I'm going to wake up and just like, oh, I want to go and do it again. What to what end? What do you go gain? I don't know, Reginald. I don't know. And your final question, you said, okay, is there a window in this your whole career where you and your former company would find a way to collaborate? If my former company, I've worked with the different companies. I've worked with the River State government as a player of Sharks of Port Harcourt. I've played for Elfsberg in Sweden. I've worked with different companies. So I've worked with Globestar, Al Jazeera, Baku Contagora Foundation in the north. I've worked with a lot of companies, Escravos. So please, you can be very, very strict. He said, Billa FM silly. And I mean, because silly. I don't, to be very honest, right? To be very, very honest, I don't think that there's going to be, if it's not good for them, it's also not good for me, right? So there's never going to be a room where we can do anything together. I don't think so. I'm not going to lie. I'm not even think. I'm very certain, 100% certain. We're not going to cross paths where we're going to do anything because. You mean even Bible says, "Can two work together except they agree?" There's no room for agreement. I mean, you can't work with people that you know have an inclination to hurt you or do you damage. It will be class ignorant on your part. So that's never going to happen. Well, another message is here from Bolaji. Bolaji says. Hi, Daffy. You and Omar Katuba are part of the team of people who raised the profile of Osimhen even before he won the title and all that. You guys did a great job. At this time where he made a mistake, would it not be good for you and Omar to also turn up and try to help speak on his behalf and, change the narrative for him? It seems like things have turned bad. You people have abandoned him. That's the way I feel. Do you have any comment to it? Balaji, first off, Osimhen don't block Omar since me. I blocked him because of his reaction to Finidi. It's not a trophy, but sometimes you have to. Even Bible says if your left hand will cause you to sin, cut it off. I respect the legends of the game, but I also call them out when they are doing wrong, when they are found to be doing wrong. The reason why I do that is my job requires that I speak for the people. When I'm in the office of a football analyst, I speak for the people. These same people, I defend them with my life when the need arises. I mean, everybody was staring into Sonolise. I find a way to put the record straight with Dukudi. With the Mikel issue, I had to call Olise again to talk, right? That's balancing it. If I have the chance to, I will still get to Mikel and try to talk to him. What Mikel said was wrong. We was wrong, stupid, and idiotic. Let's call it spade a spade. This younger generation on social media, we no get sense, would back him. Mikel wrong was not just on Sonolise. Mikel calling his entire family out that they are beggars, they are living on him. Listen, we're Africans, we're not Americans. And even all this talk of we're not Americans, would they talk like, now for people who never travel to America, I've seen American families live together. Europeans, this Europe will talk. So how does Italians live? Italians build their whole nationhood, their whole life on family principles. The Jewish, the Lebanese, the Arabs, the Indians, the Chinese. So if you are lucky to be successful, two things I always say to people is, Like my money, I tell you what, my money is for my community. It's not just for me. It's for my community. There's a lot of people who were responsible for me to get here, from Reverend Oloye to Reverend Iti Omole to Robert Akari's parents, to everybody. Mr. Yellow and his wife. Like the names are many, the Onokitties, all of these people. I might not even have to go back to those particular families to like support them. But then there are now other families that I need to support going forward. So I can't have money and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's me, myself, and I. You can't work like that. We are communal people, right? So to start your podcast and start calling out your family and all that and labeling it negatively in front of a British producer, a white man, like when I look at Michele, I just look at somebody who have a complex issue, who's struggling for acceptance. And people who struggle for acceptance will throw anybody under the bus to feel important. And if you look at this podcast, that's most of the things that happen. Showing everybody, even the Chelsea, some people take it as a joke, but behind the scene, people are like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Throw everybody under the bus. Well, it might work for him. I mean, that gives you numbers. But on the long run, I've always also found out that it doesn't work for long. It doesn't sustain. So you have to find a better way to do it. Now, having said that, for Victor Osimhen, what people do not understand is, and I've been saying that for a while, I think Osimhen have many times said this word repeatedly. People go advise what they want to advise. I go do it in my mind. I'm sure if you follow him very well, you have heard that. So at some point, you have to realize that, man, this guy doesn't want to listen to anybody. Why would I? This guy made it clear that I don't want to listen to anybody. And then again, I've spoken to people around him like, man, you know, when I talk to this boy, you know, I've seen him, I'm closer to the national team. I'm like, when I talk to this boy, I don't call him yet. Players in the camp, players in the national team, players that I played before. And that one in the year one do. That one in the year one do. That one in the year one do. You know, so you get to the point where, you know, okay, this guy is a god unto himself. And then you see arrest his family, get problem here. Almost everybody's having problem with. You gotta be able to pull yourself backward and say, you know what, I don't want to be caught up in this. Especially, there are certain services you render that should be paid for. If somebody is not paying you for it and you're rendering it and they're not appreciating it, stay away. So that's the case. It's not as if things didn't go bad. I mean, he won the league title, his career is very, very much on the eye. He's still going to have a movement. He's still going to either go to Paris Saint-Germain or the Saudi Arabia Open for him. Might not come to the Premier League now. Doesn't mean he will not come back later. We're not going to be here and say that Victor Osimhen is not a good player. That's the one that I don't like. I hear some people say, which ball have he played? Now, that's the part that I don't like. Victor Osimhen is a good player. He's a good striker. He knows how to put the ball in the net. He's fantastic with that. We can't argue. But we cannot also pretend like he doesn't have a stinky character. We cannot pretend about that his character is very, very stupid. People say he's passionate. I know very passionate people who also know how to treat people with respect. And you know, no amount of people will come out to tell you that he's very respectful. Without a million of people also coming out to tell you of the people that he has disrespected, the things that he has done openly. He's fought Leo Balogun, he's fought players, he's fought Francis Uzoho, he's insulted this person, he's insulted that person, he's arrested his family member. All of those are there in the open. So it's not about us, it's about him. What would have happened, what would have even cleared this thing up very easy was if he had come out again and done a video and said that it was a mistake, I was misled by a publication, which again, by saying that publication, he had the right to react. Now, the way he take react, you know that thing they say, it is not what you said, but how you said it that is a problem. The way he reacted is what's getting everybody all muffled up and pissed off. And then, if he had come out again and apologized, you see, it would have gone from the most hated to the most loved. Again, it doesn't have handlers. You get to a place where you're too big to be handled, so you now put around you people who are your subjects. It's Julius Caesar now. Put people who are your subjects, but among your subjects you have Brutus Gali, Brutus who hates you, and not Brutus Gali, Brutus Gali is Judah. Brutus who hates you and stabs you, and you know is the Judas of the circle. You know those kind of things happen. Sometimes you cannot be a god unto yourself. You have to have people that you're accountable for. That's why for me, for instance, I have the Elevated TV WhatsApp family group, right? Those people there can yes, Edafi. No, we don't like this. You're doing, stop it. That one, and I would. Because they are my accountability partner. I don't think that he does have that. And that's his own problem, okay? A person who have a problem but refuses to realize I have a problem is hard to fix. You have to first realize that you have a problem. If I go to a doctor today and I have a problem in my ankle and I tell the doctor that I'm having headache is my problem, doctor give me problem treatment for headache, but my ankle will still be paining me. So that's the way it is. It's not like anybody abandoned him. He's a man, he's a grown man, and if you even go back to the life that he made, he also said it. I'm a grown ass man. Nobody should tell me what to do. So we're not going to be able to tell him what to do or how to do it. It's just the basic truth. Well, it's hard to see. There's so many questions, but I still have to read the comments on the comment section. I think I'll come back to some of the other one. I see your comments on WhatsApp, but I'm coming. Leomadi says, first to like today. Good morning, house. Make we see a new coach. The new coach England will recruit. The Olariwaju say Harry Kane has been unlucky. I wouldn't call it a curse. He might win with Bayern before his contract expires. I agree with you. I think that Vincent Company would win the league title, but then you might be thinking that one, and then Xabi Alonso is thinking something different. I remember to say now pattern they follow Kane to always lose finals. Apostle TC Moses says, please, any news on Victor, please? No news. Demola Ibrahim Abedu say, if Bayern did not win anything this season, then Kane should retire. That's more of a cause than pattern. Okay, Iria White Osagi. My people are here. Big up, mate. I'm watching you from Poland. Hey, how is that end? Poland is one of the countries that I visited, and it's just weird. It's just weird in a way, like you know. I used to think that Germany or Austria is weird, but Poland is just weird in a beautiful way. Like I don't know how to put it, but it's not like every other European country. It's just different. It's ancient, it's modern, it's stiff, it's flexible, but within its own space. Kind of like Poland, though. I kind of like Poland, like Romania, right? They have their ways, and there's a white. I don't know the right word to use right now, but you know that when you go to Italy, like it's extremely too liberal. You go to France, it's extremely too liberal. No, Poland is not like that. There is a way they do things in Poland, and it has to be that way. If not, my brother, my brother, please use another comment to support this my position. The line I just say I spent like 3 months in Poland. I had fun with that funny food. It was good. Cheese and all that stuff. The line said, "Chai, what an example! England does suffer, but really, we are not serious with football in Nigeria." Victor Malalu says, "I still marvel how Morata become number one striker in France. What a lucky chap." Well, I think that he's got a good attitude. He's got a good head on his shoulder, and people seem to find it easy to work with him. That's another thing. So I was talking to my Spanish friend. And he said something that I like. Okay, Musa says Morata is a guy that when he walks into the room, everybody just feel comfortable with him. Like nobody's raising eyebrows, nobody's saying, "Oh, you don't come again." So people are comfortable with having him in the room, even though there are some other strikers you might want to pick ahead of him. But just because you're comfortable working with him, and he's not a kind of guy that thinks he's all that. Okay, so. I mean, I want to take his word because he also worked within the national team setup and he understands that. So maybe he's doing a cover up for him, but again, what he says matches up with what I say. So that's a fine one. Tosi Loma, they say England team was average in this tournament. Guess luck pushed them to the final, just like Nigeria at the AFCON. But luck is not always enough to win a tournament. The likewise say, I'm sorry, but Williams and Yamal cannot be mentioned in the same sentence with Chukwueze and Simon, at least for now. No, I'm not mentioning them in the same sentence. What I'm saying is, I wish our own can play like that. Like, the combination, the way they play, the way they find each other with passes, the way, that these guys are not really overtly into the, I want to dribble you, do jaga leg over. They are just simple in their execution. But because they're so fast, it look a bit complicated, the close control, the speed, the pace that they put into the game, and the passes, the precision in their passing and all that. It looks a bit complicated, but they are very simple. Finite football in its most simple form. Chukwueze and Simon make simple things look very, very complicated. That everybody thinks, they are trying to do one hard work, but it's very simple to lay the pass on the ground, put the pass in the air. Don't cross the ball from that end and let it go and like you're aiming to hit the assistant referee on the other end. You understand? That's what I'm saying. I'm not comparing them. Obviously, they are better than those two. Yeah, but I'm just putting it in that conversation. Victor Manuel will say, Tosili Made, unfortunately, that is their best player. Boris Diange says, England needs a new manager. Who? Yes, they need a new manager. Who? That's the question. Demola Abdani say England male team should copy their female team and hire a foreign manager. Maybe English manager does not give them the luck needed. At least they should try a foreign manager. But Gary Southgate have been the best manager, both foreign and English, right, in the history of England since 1966, right, or after the 66 World Cup. Let me put it that way for the better way, so that people will not misconstrue what I'm saying. Demola Abdani say Crystal Palace or Fulham should bring 50 million for Emily Smith Rowe, make them take him. Olafat says, good morning, boss, good morning to you. For me, I think Emily Smith Rowe is one for the future, but it's just for him to be injury free. When Arteta was asked, he said he have confidence in him because ESR helped him when he needed it the most. Temitayo Tamiyu says, a good morning, boss, good morning to you. On Smith Rowe is one of those painful transfer from a fan perspective, but at least a buyback clause just in case he finds his fitness. But for now, let him go. And then he went on to say, Arteta have proven beyond that he can manage players better, and for most signing during his reign, he have a way of making the fans forget the saves he made. Arteta will deliver sooner than later. And then he went on to also say, my fear is just that Elegbete once said that now the guy after Arteta tenure will deliver trophy for Arsenal. Now, that's because I thought that Arteta will not last more than 3 years. Right now, I think Arteta will deliver a trophy for Arsenal. I think he will deliver the league side. I think it will, is this close. If everything goes the way they went last season, and then a little improvement like we've seen from all the sequence, Arsenal should win the title. And that's my prediction. I'm just saying, so don't hold me to it. The man have made some bold prediction in the past, and they happen 8 over 10. So Jonah Chukwunta says, good morning, big man. Longest time. Nice to hear from you again. I'm always here. Probably you're the one who's been running away. The Lara Raju says, for Smith Rowe, I think he might need to move to realize playing time. I'm not sure Arteta favors him that much. Obare Gerese boss, Steve McLaren is not a good coach. Super Eagles should not go for him. I fully agree with you that Mikel is looking for acceptance. He's trying to be British. He's having complex issues. I said that to my friend Larry the other day. I was like, that's what I think. Who doesn't remove the fact that he was a fantastic player in his playing day, but that's just what I think. Temitayo Adeola says that the only thing Idafe knows how to do is to tell the truth. The Lara say Osimhen is good, but I hope he has the staying power, because this attitude of his might be an unneeded distraction for his career. I wish him well. I think the boy can score goals. I think he can score goals. His pre-runs are fantastic. His positioning are good. He could be better. And his power, which is very, very good. Probably that power also might be his greatest undoing when he starts aging, because if he's actually playing with his real age, if he's 25 as they say, it's good. But you see, with this calculation that he's 25, if he's needed to play with power, some sort of thing that happened with Lukaku, is at some point that power will fail. So that he needs to improve his techniques, he needs to improve his positioning. You know that thing that people like the Filippo Inzaghi does, where it just seems like they know where the ball is. The ball just comes to them. The Marco van Basten of old, if you watch old football, the ball just comes to them. You see Ronaldo da Lima. Why Ronaldo da Lima failed in his... I don't know his word failure. I can't use failure to... No, that's disrespectful. Sorry. I apologize. I'll take it back. But why Ronaldo da Lima didn't go that far was that everything about his game was explosive and combusting, right? Too much pace, too much power, too much, at some point the body is not going to respond to it. When I first did my surgery and they implanted all those screw and metal rod and plate in my leg, after some years I was able to play football. Looked like low level football, right? Straight all-star football. But at some point, it started crinking. It started feeling like the iron was touching my bone, and if I finished playing football, my knee will swell. And I've not played football for 10 years. For 10 years, I've not played football. I get the hunger, the desire for wanting to play football, but my body is not letting me, because the way my body programs to play football is to run and dribble. But the leg is the balancing foot, right? This my left leg is a balancing foot. For every dribble I want to make, it's on this leg. For every pace, burst of pace or shot or movement, it's on this leg. So I attracted to the game, but it's like, when you're broke and you want to have a side chick, right? You know that it comes with heavy billing, and so you see that fine girl who's giving you green light, and you pretend like you're blind. I said, yeah, you become Stevie Wonder, like, no problem, I'm okay, good. No, I don't need your help, I can do it myself. That's the way my leg and my body is programmed. So if he needs to fix that thing about his game and then evolve into something else, but then his attitude, people, again, you're black, right? People easily pick up on these things and use against you. If it was white, they could get past it, but then, Balotelli, his attitude came to catch up with him eventually. So that's just my own fear for him. Other than that, I will not be able to sit here and tell you that Osimhen is not a good player. That one don't go beyond analysis to beef, unnecessary hatred that is not necessary on this job. G Dada say exactly. Morata's attitude is everything. It is more than just scoring, but it also depends on the coach too. What's happening to Nigerian search for the Super Eagles coach? More grease to you, Idafi. Thank you very much. More power, actually, because Greece will stay me now. AGT says Eddie Howe should take over from Northgate. You're mean. Jonah Chukwuta says, big man, what do you have to say about the new Chelsea coach? He brought Leicester up, so he's got his way. He's got his way of playing. I was speaking to one Leicester player that I'm not going to mention because I don't want to talk about him. And he was telling me that it could be too much into the details. Sometimes it could be too much into the details, and sometimes what bothers them when he was coaching them was that it was working too hard to try to be like Pep, and then that was a lower league, right? This is a Premier League where if it tries too much to be like Pep, the Chelsea players might just have a laugh and kind of like, why don't I just go and sign for City instead of playing for this guy who's a Pep wannabe? But other than that, he's a good guy. I heard from a player who's played under him. In short, two players who played under him saying that, look, his game day, match reading, and all that is good. Maybe sometimes it's overtly into the details, but it's just good. So I would take their word. I would take their word any day and say Enzo Maresca is a good one for Chelsea. But then again, you know how Chelsea work. They'll go and sign players for you that you don't even need. Go and sign some small children and want you to perform miracle, to unstop deaf ear, to raise the dead, part the Red Sea, turn water to wine, and do the impossible. So I just hope that doesn't become a problem. But that's the feedback I got about the kind of guy that he is. Temitope Adeola says talent can take you very high, but character will keep you up there. This is what Osimhen needs to realize. Nonso Ibanga says, good morning, boss. Good morning to you. Talking about Moses and Chukwueze and the other Super Eagles, I think that these guys are just bunch of mediocre. Mediocre is not the word I'm going to use, but they're bang on average. Our players don't go the extra mile to develop themselves to satisfy. Well, if you come from Nigeria anyway, if you come, sometimes it's easier. Talk is cheap. One of the things that I've come to realize is that when you come from a country where the economy, the exchange rate make you think that you have arrived. Because if they give you $1 million and you're a US citizen or you're British, $1 million is not really big deal. But you give you $1 million, you know that $1 million first of all will buy you like an estate in some state in Nigeria. Like $1 million is about 1.5 billion naira right now. I don't know. Am I right? So it could buy you your dream house. Don't forget that these footballers have a particular cap in their dream and expectation for their life. Not really fantastically educated, not really highly exposed, not mixed up well. And so when they start getting this money and it's even past where they are expecting, control is hard. Control. I was watching the Ferrari movie yesterday on Amazon Prime. It's been there for a while and I've been wanting to watch. I've watched the other one, the other part, the Ford side, the Ford versus Ferrari movie. Then I watched the Ferrari movie. And, because I've read the book before and it just, brought a whole lot of things into my head, like what environment does in terms of monetary conversation. Environment is a very key thing. Sometimes what we call attitude is actually environmental factor. Environment changes a lot of things. If you don't have early exposure, so let me give you this to buttress my point. When we were growing up, boys of my generation, the easiest way to sleep with girl was to tell the girl that you would buy her shortbread or shortcake or take her to Mr. Biggs. Boys of the 90s, yeah. Now there are also girls that you will meet whose father used to take them to Mr. Biggs on a weekend, daily weekend. Their father used to take them to Esco to buy those shortbread, passion perfume. It wasn't a big deal. If you promise them those things, I have people, my classmates that will still chat. I'm like, you were trying to use Mr. Biggs and shortbread to toast me that year. And I never send it because my papa buy it for me all the time. You see that a level of exposure. It's different. So sometimes it is the exposure that is not taking them. It's like taking a blind man to light, exposing a blind man who just just do surgery on their eyes and you expose them to halogen light or red light. They will go blind permanently. So sometimes I think that's the real problem. But hey, as you grow, you're supposed to teach yourself. You're supposed to teach yourself self-awareness, self-improvement, ability to say, you know what, I need to get better than this. I need to know better than this. I need to train myself. But not everybody have that because money again brings a certain type of mental laziness. What I train myself for when I don't already get the money? Which I always do. Then they now retire, they're now broke again. I'm like, with all that money that you had, Cerebral West comes to mind, Amokashi comes to mind, a lot of them, but let's not talk about them right now. I'm not trying to shit on anybody. They'll always say, funny enough, looking around, there is no one good enough coach than Southgate, except they want to go foreign. Southgate has not done too bad with the resources he has. Maybe he should stay safe. Victor Malalu said, the same reason Marco van Basten did it go far. Yogo Gabriel say hi. I like the way you mix humor with professionalism. Make this show really special. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Dijala Ufuma says, the combination of your name always get me laughing. So first there's Edijala Okwe in Delta Broadcasting Service. So for I have like 9 Ufuma in my bloodline, and then I have like 2 Edijala in my family. So whenever I call your name, I'm just remembering all of these people like that. He said, I worry about Rhys James. I think his body structure is prone to injuries with the way he plays, and he is so much an excellent player. I wish him the best. They look for the best way to keep them. Now the funny thing is, there is a school in England. I've forgotten the school, the name of the school. I'll try. I know the doctor. I tried to do a work with him before. There's a school in England that deals with biomechanics, so the body structure. If you guys remember, in Athens Olympics, Usain Bolt was a failure, complete failure. He went to work on his biomechanics, the balancing, learning how to balance your body. In the early days of Ryan Giggs, he was always getting injured. And they had to figure out that the way he sits in his car is what causes the injury. And most time people don't understand this very, very small thing. So there is a school in London where I think if Rhys James goes there, they might be able to fit him well and train him on how to manage his body. Robin Van Persie used it in the last season with Arsenal, and they refitted his biomechanics, the way he walks, the way he balances, the way he moves, the way he shoots, and that's how he was able to play the way he played the last 2 seasons. 30 goals for Arsenal, 30 goals for Manchester United. I think that sometimes players need to find somebody in their team who will take them out of the football environment to those kind of places and fix them. This thing you talk about, Rhys James, I always talk about it like, man, this guy is good. It's not a joke, but there's something there. Like it's not one you just say, oh no, this one not sabi. You can't wave him off. But injuries. I've been a victim of injuries, so I know injuries can take away a great talent, a great ability, because you want to do it, but you're not afraid. If I do it, what if I get injured? If I take him on, if I run, so you don't get the ball, you just pass. So that thing that makes you, that thing that people know about you, the essence of a perfume is not in the volume, it's in the scent, right? You not lose it. Yeah, it's not average. Yeah, right. So I just hope that part of him is able to work. And this is how say, I know they want to talk NFF on structured, uneducated way of doing me. They tire me. Make we calm down with this Maresca of Chelsea coach. Let's just watch and see how it goes. Chelsea board that is so as confused as anything. And finally on the show today, Jonah Chukunta say, big man, I'm new in this your channel. The last time I heard from you was during your time you was still with Brilla. Okay, thank you very much for being new here. I hope you subscribe. Lamire, we're running up now. It's good money, bro.
Thank you very much. I've got a lot of people today, 52 people, but only 32 like. What happened to the other 20 people who did not click on the like button? If I offend them, I'm making an verse. I'm always sure that I'm not going to be able to impress everybody. That's definitely for sure. But I'm going to try my best to one. I tell you guys every day that I come here to do entertainment, to do sports, to do analysis, to answer to your questions that you have, as many as I can, like I did today. Not say Bangas just send this one. I think the England issue is beyond coaching, and I don't know if I can describe their trophy drought as a mental block. It's a mental block actually, but if they think it's coaching, the guys the list is enough follow. I agree with you. It's actually a mental block. You guys, so they hype themselves too much with this expectation. If they carry themselves with this idea that we can win it, if you look at England in this tournament, they played with too much handbrake. Like every game, they would rather sit back and wait. But when you score them, you notice that, oh, England can really play ball. They can really come out, go and attack. Then they score, and then they're sitting back again. They have been make not to go, more not expose ourselves. So that's a problem for them. And it doesn't matter who they were playing, whether they were playing Spain, they were playing the Netherlands, Slovakia, Slovenia, Hungary, Serbia, anybody, Denmark. It was just like that. And I mean, it's hard to speak now, but I think it's something that they need to take off their head. They just need to take it one game at a time. Forget whether we've won anything before. It's hard for it not to play in your head. It's hard. It's very, very hard for it not to play in your head. But they have to find a way. Last 3 messages coming out. That's nice. You have the combination of my names within your network. All of us say it's not a mental problem because they've been winning at youth level. What's been winning at how many youth level they don't win? They've won one under 17 in 2017 in all their entire life. Nigeria have won 5. They won the Euro Cup, Euro age grade. No, it's a mental block, my brother. Demola Abdani Brian said just like injuries stop occurred to Abu Dhabi. Yes, guys, it's 10 minutes of added time to the show today. Thank you very much. God bless you, everyone. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please do what to subscribe. We're here Monday to Friday for those who are new, and 9 a.m. every day. We're here Monday to Friday, and we have other content that we upload. Please do what to engage them. Drop a comment on the content. Share if you like it. If you don't like it, don't bother sharing. But if you like it and you think you have friends who like what we're doing, share with them and tell them why you are sharing it with them. Because again, don't just share a link to somebody. People don't click on link because everybody's thinking a link means that you want to wipe their money from their account. So you gotta be able to explain to them, oh, I saw this thing, I liked it, and I think you will like it, watch it, blah, blah, blah. Wow. Thank you very much. God bless you and have yourself a wonderful day. Once again, my name is Edafi Matias. You love to come in the spot. Bye-bye.